Hi everyone, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos. So once again, it's been a minute, but I said I would be slower with my uploads, and I guess I really meant it. I am planning on being a little bit more consistent, but whatever. I am here again, and I'm here with just a video that I like to call filler content. Everyone loves seeing wrap-ups are one of my most popular videos, but I have some really fun stuff planned, and I want to get to that. I don't really care about the wrap-up, but we're getting it out of the way. There are a few books that I'm really excited to talk about, especially in the end of this month. I don't know what happened, but I just read so many good books, and by so many I mean 4. But that's still big for me because I'm not gonna say I'm in a slump, but I'm just in a mood where all these books aren't perfect to me, and I'm not enjoying them as much as I want to. So yeah, 5 good books in a row, I count it as a win. Anyway, June wrap up. I cannot believe we're at the end of June. Time has literally been flying so fast, and I just I'm like, oh, tomorrow I'll film, oh, I won't be able to film Friday, I'll film Saturday, oh my god, it's a mess, but here I am, I'm doing it. So let's kind of just jump straight into this. I don't have too much of an intro. I won't have a TBR for July just because I'm really going with the flow right now, but I have 3 very exciting videos that I am very excited to do, and they're coming out soon. Well, 2 of them are coming soon, one of them you might have to wait a bit because I've done it already kind of recently, so I'm waiting a little bit longer. But I have 2 very exciting videos that I've been saying have been coming for way too long, but they're finally coming. I'm filming them right after this, and they will be up soon. I'm finding that if I film earlier in advance, then I can get 5-10 days to edit. That's perfect for me. So that's how we're gonna do it. That's how it's gonna have to happen. Anyways, I hope everyone is well. Hope you guys are reading some great books. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into I don't even know how many books I read in June. Let's get into the books that I read in June in just a minute. Guys, I think I read 9 books in June. Isn't that insane? I literally, at my peak, read 30 books in 1 month. What is going on? I usually like to stick with 10 to 15 books per month. I feel like that's a good medium. 9 books? No, I don't know what happened. This was the busiest, month of, not my life, but definitely my year. And so I guess I should give myself a little bit of slack, but still, that's sad. So yeah, wow, 9 books in 1 month. Not something I'm super happy with, but I did enjoy the books, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, I finished off last month's video saying I read Until I Get You by Claire something. That was a hockey romance. And then I was like, I'm going to tell you about the series that I read next. And then I was like, hold on, I actually won't do that, but we're gonna talk about it now because I started it at the end of May, and I read the last book on the 31st, and then the rest I read in this month. So I was like, you know what, we're waiting to do it in June. So I read the Mary Stone Rebels. I read the St. Mary's Rebels series by Saffron A. Kent. I was on a bit of a kick from Saffron A. Kent, and I read the first 3 books in this. So the first one was Bad Boy Blues. Why isn't this actually the first book? Why is it a prelogue? What the fuck? Prologue, I'm so sorry. But it's classified as book 0. I read Bad Boy Blues, mainly because Naima from Naima's Reads recommended this one in a video we did so far back. I think it was last year. Toxic Romances, and probably was in July or something. I loved that video, both of our videos. I thought we knocked that shit out of the park. But she recommended this one, and I was like, I put on my TBR instantly, obviously. Tell me why I didn't get to it until literally now. Then once I started book 1, or whatever book this was, I was like, why don't I just finish the rest of the series? I regret saying that I was going to do that because I didn't do that. I dropped it after book 3, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first, we're going to start with the first one. So this one is a very classic, good girl, bad boy. He is the son of a really rich business guy, and she is the maid, or the daughter of the maid, but I don't know how she got there, but she's there, and she is the maid, and they've always had this dynamic that's very fiery. So it's kind of split into 2 parts. Some of it you get to see flashbacks when they were younger, and then now, and I love that personally. I love a good ass double timeline, so good. So yeah, they start off, they're going to school together, and they have this kind of, not really enemies to lovers dynamic, but they don't really like each other, and they make that known. And then he disappears for a while, and she's like, oh, I'm safe, it's fine. And he comes back a few years later, even more tortured than he was before, even more even more of an asshole than he was before, and just better than he was before. So yeah, then she starts to realize he's always been pretty hot, but now he's got that vibe to him. Maybe that was just me realizing, and the characters just did their thing. I realized that. So after he comes back, they start like getting each other's hair again, and you just know that that means they love each other, right? Like then they start developing a relationship. Then she starts learning all these things about him, how his life's so fucked up and he's a tortured bad boy, and she's still his maid, right? And or his family's maid, I should say. And she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I have like bigger dreams than this. So after they are together and then they like aren't really together, like, you know, basically all these books are just situationships, guys. She just like books it out of town. She's like, this is my chance, I'm gonna run. And guess what he does? He follows her. And to me, that was like the best part of this book. I was like, hell yeah, I loved that. So yeah, you got like bad boy, good girl, rich boy, poor girl, a lot of great banter and a great dynamic. And oh guys, best part, motorcycle riding hero, like motocross kind of hero. Like also the heroine is plus size. I think dude's tatted too. Like it was so good. I really liked it. I don't know what was in this book, but it was like, I don't know, I was eating it up. It was so good. It is usually like, it's more of a high school-y kind of romance, and I don't normally go for those. So I was like, oh yeah, that gave me the taste that I wanted. And they was a little bit unhinged, I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the things were a little bit like and some of the smut, not in this book particularly, but kind of in the overall series, is a little bit unhinged. That's not the reason why I stopped reading it. It's just one of the small things. But this one I didn't notice too bad. Like the smut was pretty good, and it was like kind of normal. So I was like, oh, okay, we're good. I rated it 4 stars, maybe 4.25, and it's also super smutty. Not a favorite, not my favorite of this month, not a favorite of this year, unfortunately, but it was like a solid ass book, and it got me excited for the next book in the series, which is called My Darling Arrow. And unfortunately, that was a literal flop. I mean, it wasn't as bad as My Something Villain, but that was my goddamn phone. It wasn't as good as Bad Boy Blues, let's just say that. I should have stopped at Bad Boy Blues, but I didn't. So My Darling Arrow is about a girl who's been in love with her sister's boyfriend, and maybe fiance, I can't remember, for like the entire time they've known each other. And let's just say it gives a little bit of stalker. It's a little creepy. And it's a little giving obsessive personality, which I can't really speak because I have slight obsessions too. But like when it's a person and it's your sister's boyfriend, and then like, whoa. So a little bit unhinged, okay? But she is in high school. She's at this like reform school for girls who act out, I guess. And her sister's boyfriend becomes their coach. And she's like, wait, why aren't you with my sister? Why are you not talking about my sister? I thought you guys were like forever together. I was And I'm like, girl, why are you shipping them so hard if you were in love with him? Like, make it make sense. But yeah, then he's her coach. They see each other like at the bar, and then they have some sort of like arrangement thing. And I don't know, there is an age gap in this. Obviously, I think it's not something too dramatic, but it just felt dramatic in the age gap. Like I just felt like there was such a separation between them that I was like, what do y'all even talk about? What do you sit down and chat about? What's your small talk like? Because like, ain't no way. And yeah, I just felt like they weren't perfect for each other. And come on, when I'm romanticizing lives here and romance, like, give me something more. So the forbidden part, the sister was a dick, so like it was okay. Otherwise I would have been like, excuse me, that's your sister's boyfriend, but she was not a great person, so it's okay. And then the other parts of it, I was just like, what is going on? The smut was unhinged. The smut was absolutely unhinged, and some of it was just there like to piss me off. Like there's many points in those scenes that I just put the book down. I was like, stay right there. Don't come near me. And yeah, so I gave it like 3.5. I didn't fully love it. It's not the greatest book ever, and I should have stopped the series there, but I continued on to My Gorgeous Villain, which because I saw the characters in the last book. It's like a pregnancy or surprise pregnancy, like kind of romance like that. And well, it was kind of better because they have a thing before, like I think they're kind of in love before, back in high school or something, and then they're separated, and then they see each other again at like something, I don't know what it was, but they're somehow back in each other's lives. Then the one night stands turns into her getting pregnant, and then he's like so protective of her, and I was like, oh, I like that. It did a line in the beginning, I was like, okay, I like this. And then we got further and I was like, okay, there's just kind of something missing, and I couldn't feel everything, and there was something missing for me. When I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, this should be a good ass book. But when I was reading it, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So I rated it 2 stars. I feel like that's kind of undeserving, because thinking about it now, I'm like, that was an okay book, but I guess 2 stars is 2 stars, maybe 3 though. I want to be kinder and say 3. I don't know why I didn't like it. So that finished that series. I will not go back to the series. Unfortunately, I wanted to like it and I couldn't. After that, I DNF'd A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. I love Karina Halley. Let's just start off with that, okay? I love Karina Halley. I love her vampire paranormal shit. I love her books. I only read her darker stuff. I don't read her contemporary things. Novels, books, sorry. They're not things. But I've always loved Karina Halley. And every point of her, like, mystery, her writing, her everything, her smut, knocks it out of the park. Always great reads. Perfect for spooky season. She's written some of my faves for spooky season. So I was like, oh, okay. This is fantasy and romance, but it's Karina Halley. I can do it. I couldn't do it. I thought I could. I could not. There was a little too much fantasy for me. It was a little too thick. The romance I actually couldn't feel. And I don't know why. Like, maybe I was too distracted by the fantasy elements, but the romance, I just couldn't get into it. This follows a siren and a pirate. So it's kind of like an Ariel. Oh, no. Ariel the Little Mermaid? Or is it just The Little Mermaid? God damn. It's kind of a retelling of that, where she, like, falls in love with a pirate. I've never watched The Little Mermaid. No, I have. I just don't remember it. So, like, does she actually fall in love with a pirate in the movie? I don't know. But this is, like, so she's such a strong character. I really enjoyed it. Ramsey, who is the captain, or the pirate, sorry. I mean, he is the captain, but he's also a pirate. He was kind of hot. He reminded me of the book by Pam Godwin. What the fuck? Sea of Ruin. The guy in there. He reminded me of him. So I enjoyed this book, but I just got bored and I don't think I was in a good reading space. So I had to DNF it. I'm not giving the book a low rating though. I really like this book and I like the premise of it. It should be so good. I just couldn't get into it then. And that makes me really sad, but I'm not going to rate it because I DNF'd it. I just wanted to love it so bad. So after I DNF'd that, I may have partially DNF'd it actually because I wanted to read Keep Her Safe by QB Tyler. I saw QB Tyler release this. I know she was going to release it, but I saw her release it and I was like, hold on, I need that right now. And recently I've been in the mood for books that I like look at them, I romanticize them, and I like fantasize about them, and I'm like, I need that right now. So I like get myself in the mood for it, and it's awesome. It truly is. So this is one of those. Keep Her Safe is a bodyguard romance. Yeah, it follows an actor and her bodyguard, and I was like, absolutely yes, absolutely yes. And so I went into it just wanting like the forbiddenness, the like slow burn, the da-na-na-na-na, you know what I'm talking about? And I got that, yes. But what I mainly got out of this is that this book is the literal reincarnation of Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner's The Bodyguard. It's an absolutely gorgeous black woman who hires a bodyguard, or gets hired a bodyguard, who's like sulky, quiet, doesn't say shit, doesn't have his emotions on his face, and is like job, 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 work, work, work. Like, actually, if you ever wanted a book of that movie, god damn, this was it. Because I watched that movie, I actually fucking loved that movie. Whitney Houston is a fucking goddess, and Kevin Costner when he was younger, yeah. Okay, so I love that movie, but I never understood the ending. Like, actually never. I watched it so many times and I'm like, you fucking stole that ending from us, and I'm so mad. But now I feel a little bit more content because of this fucking book. It felt like I was reading that movie and then I got a better ending, and I was like, thank you, QB Tyler, because girl, I needed that. I actually did. So it starts off a few years prior when her family and her agent, etc., hire her a new bodyguard, and she sees him and she's like, oh, he's really hot. And she kind of like makes a move for it, but he like shuts her down. He's like, absolutely not. And so she kind of backs off for a while, and then she gets in a relationship, da-da-da-da. They have their like stolen little moments, but they're not as like apparent as they would be if she was single, right? And so now she is single because her boyfriend just cheated on her, and he comes and swoops in. No, he doesn't. Okay, she's actually the one that's making the moves because like he's strictly professional, like very much Kevin Costner, and I absolutely died for it because like he's trying to deny his feelings, and at the same time there's like things going on in her life that's making him feel unsafe about her, like the fact that she's in danger, the fact she's getting stalked, and he's just like, overprotective, and yeah, I loved it. I will say I did want a little bit more slow burn. The smut was obviously amazing, but I've always noticed that in Keebies Tyler's books, around the 30% mark is when they first like either fuck, kiss, whatever, and I just wished for a little bit more slow burn. I know that's not Keebies Tyler's style. I just really wish she had gone for that and tried it out. I'm not saying some Mariana Zapata type shit, but I'm just saying like maybe they kiss at 40-50%, like something like that. Like, I just wish there was a little bit more slow burn, because they got together pretty quickly, and then it was just the like ups and downs of the relationship, which they had a lot, but I just wanted that bit more slow burn. And that was the only thing wrong with this book, actually, because like the characters were amazing. The heroine, I loved her, one of my favorite heroines, and yeah, an absolutely amazing book. I rated it 4.4, no, I was supposed to say 45, 25 stars. Could be bumped up to a 4.5 though, because it was that good. Then I read In the Gray by B.B. Reed, and this was B.B. Reed's first release in a while, and I was on the edge of my seat. I was really, really interested to see what she would do with a bodyguard romance. Or sorry, not a bodyguard romance, a workplace romance. I'm still in the last book, excuse me. Because B.B. Reed has like a darker style of writing, and I'm like, workplace? What the fuck? It didn't really align, but then I read this book and I'm like, it makes sense. It all makes sense. The way she wrote it, I was like, because it was written perfectly and so B.B. Reed to me. So yeah, this follows Atlas and the hero, and she kind of gets like thrown into his life. She got something really mysterious, but she follows it because like what else is she gonna do with her life? And she then gets a job at his mechanic shop, and then they get entangled, and I feel like entangled is a perfect fucking word because it's such a situationship, but they finally get together, and then shit hits the fan, and it's drama for the last while. Personally, for me, a little bit too much drama. I don't always love a plot like that. I get like bored of the drama. You'd think like drama adds a little bit of like flair, so you're like on the edge of your seat, like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Is she gonna fight him? No. But I was like, no, I'm just so over this. So yeah, a little bit too much drama for me, but the relationship part of this was amazing, like actually impeccable. They have an age gap, I think it's like 16 years, and it's a workplace romance too, and they both don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. There's a mosquito in my room. I'm actually tweaking. There's something buzzing around and I hear a noise. Anyway, yeah, the relationship part of this was absolutely amazing. And B.B. Reed has this writing style that's just like, it's so perfect. This is a perfect like mixture of darkness and like violence and like guns and shit and like love and smut, like everything. So that one kind of, actually no, Keep Her Safe was what kicked off my favorites of this month. And this one was followed up. And that was followed up by this one, which I rated like 4.25 as well. Maybe 4.5. But then I read Sin and Ink by Naima Simone. I think it's Naima. I'm sorry. I always fuck up names and it's really hard. And I will probably never not fuck up names. But I don't know, after reading those two books, like a workplace romance, a bodyguard romance, I was like, I need some forbidden shit. Let's get into it. So I actually went on BookTube. And even though I am a BookTuber, I'm not always on BookTube, especially because my life is so busy right now. Like, I don't know what's happening. But I used to go on all the time. I hadn't watched a video in so long, and I missed it so much. But I went up and I was like, who are my favorite booktubers and where do they have their forbidden recommendations? So I looked them up. I was like, yeah, you guys delivered. And I read this one. I actually don't remember who it was. I'm so sorry. I wish I could. But like, I saw a few people do it. So Sin and Ink was recommended and I was just like, yeah, let's pick it up. So this is a, hold on, give me a minute. This is a brothers or dead brother's fiance, or actually dead brother's wife, dead brother's widow. It would be. And yeah, so basically it's a romance between a guy and his dead brother's wife. So like his sister-in-law. And oh, I loved it. So starts off, he is a tattoo artist. Yes, please. And he's a retired boxer. Yes, please. And the like office manager at his tattoo shop is his dead brother's wife, because she was having some hard times, and he's like, yo, I have a job for you, can you like manage my books and shit? And she's like, yeah. So yeah, he's one of her employees. And okay, let me describe this. So like, let's just talk about the tension that creates. Okay, oh my god, it created so much tension. I loved it. Naturally, their first like sexy scene was at the tattoo shop, and I was like, this is so good. Anyway, they've always had a thing for each other, but they both think that the other doesn't, so it's like miscommunication at its finest, but they're definitely into each other. They definitely were, and their relationship slowly starts to develop as more, and it was so fun to watch, or like read, I guess. And yeah, I once again wanted a little bit more slow burn. I feel like that would have been perfect, like the cherry on top. But this felt like a very realistic forbidden romance. Like some of them, I'm like, y'all's families cannot be okay with that. But this one, they weren't. And they, like, the characters too were like, we're really weighing our options here, but we're like, and at the end of the day, they found like they were actually really deeply in love. And I'm like, yes, I believe it. I support it. I love it. Everything. The sex was hot. That was that too. So yeah, I just really liked this one. It was very addicting to read. I loved every little thing in the plot, and it was so good. This one is a 4.5 star for sure. I loved it. Okay, to finish off the month, I read Minx by Sophie Lark, another new release. These new releases have been like keeping me alive, okay? I was so excited for this one. I hadn't read a Sophie Lark book like since 2021. What? That might be because I like downed her entire discography back then, and I've had nothing else to read by her, but yeah, so I was very excited when this came out. This follows Blake and Ramsey. Blake is a like high paid escort. Go girl. Boss bitch. And Ramsey is a like really rich. God damn, what did he do? I don't know, something to do with stocks. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't really pay attention to that. But basically, they are just the kind of personalities that love a challenge. They love like seeing something, conquering something, and getting that, you know? And so when Ramsey sees Blake, he's like, I want her. And he conquers her. But like, not in a douchey way, you know? Like, I want her, she's gonna be mine, she's my property, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I want her by my side because I see what we could be in the power couple, and she is like powerful and blah. And yes, because I fully fucking believe that. They basically just had like a normal ass relationship. They like go up to each other, they talk, they like see each other a few times, and then he like buys out all her escorts so she's available just for him. And I mean, that's not the normal part, actually. That's not the normal part, but like the way that they're not like mafia gangs at war. They're just like actual people just sitting down and like chatting and seeing each other and like running into each other and having little bantering moments. Like, it felt very realistic, but also like the depth of this writing. I feel like Sophie Lark put a lot of emotion into this writing because, whoa, it paid off. Like, I could feel the emotions coming off the page, and not only that, the goddamn smut. It was not something I'd ever thought to read, and I just like read new things all the time, you know? Actually, that's a lie. I haven't read a like actual good new thing in a while, but that one was good. New kink unlocked. Like, I'm not saying I found a new kink unlocked, but I'm saying I've like read a new kink unlocked. Yeah. But anyway, I really like this because it was a perfect balance of smut and like emotions and love. It will actually like slapped it out of the park. Or is it knocked it out? It's knocked it out of the park, but regardless, both of them. Okay, everyone, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Those are the 9 books that I have read this month, but I think 6 of them were absolute bangers. Maybe those few others weren't, but a lot of them were really good. So I'm gonna say I am actually happy with my reading month this month. This has made me realize, like, I just read so many good books. As always, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope these flowers behind me also brightened up your day because, yeah, I really love flowers. They're gonna be like a new permanent thing in my videos. They're always gonna be behind me. I hope. They're a bit of money, but you know, we'll make it work. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching. I love you guys all so much. Thank you so much for your support. I'm in a bit of a mushy mood right now, so like, I don't know, giving you a hug through the screen. Thank you guys. And I will see you in my next video very soon, which you're gonna really love. Like, you are gonna love it. I just know it. See you then.